Hey everybody! In this video today, I'm going to answer some of your questions. I have some what I think are important and interesting questions for you, and I want to talk about something that quite a few of you have now informed me I did that was pretty bad. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. I've been making travel videos for over 15 years of popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there, and I've also written 2 books full of stories of true things that have happened to me around the world, including fun and practical travel tips. Getting stitches on a cruise ship and Places Please are available on Amazon now. If you've been around this channel for a while, then you know that usually during the week I try to post a travel vlog showing you some experience that I had when I was out and about on a cruise ship, in a theme park, at a hotel. And on the weekends, I sit down here in front of the red sofa and tell you a story, discuss some kind of travel related topic. And in the most recent Sunday Sofa Time, I told you about just a string of weird, unfortunate, and honestly kind of annoying events that happened to me on my recent trip to the United States and back, including delayed flights, including almost missed connections, including aborted landings. Yeah, third time that's happened to me now. Then one of my flights back was canceled. I was rebooked, then rebooked, then rebooked on only half of a flight. Then that flight was delayed, the air conditioning was broken, and when we landed in Hamburg, the police boarded our plane. If you want to hear that story in more detail, and honestly, I'm surprised that now over 30,000 people have watched the video in the first day and a half, just check out the most recent Sunday Sofa Time or look for it in the description below. So in that video, where I tell you all of these things that went wrong in great detail and some other good things that also happened, I also mentioned something I did that I have now been reminded you definitely should not ever do. And that is, I had a computer and an iPad in my checked bags. I take full responsibility for this. I say it definitely was a mistake on my part. I knew and I know that you're not supposed to put devices with this kind of battery in your checked bags. And when you check in for a flight online nowadays, you also have to read through a checklist that lists that as one of the points. And you have to approve that you have read this and understood it before you can check in online. I did all of that, and because I fly relatively often, and I don't usually have a computer and an iPad in my suitcase, I just kind of skimmed through the form and clicked on approve and next, not thinking about what actually is written there and what I have in my bags. And by the way, the reason I was talking about what was in my bag altogether was because that was another thing that went wrong. When I got to Minneapolis, my bag was still in Amsterdam, and I was worried that not only had I lost almost all of my clothes, but I also lost this computer and iPad that I was bringing for my niece who's going to college and my other niece who needs a computer. I eventually did get the bag with my clothes and the computer devices, but it was first delivered to the wrong address. As I mentioned in that video, it's like not a huge catastrophe. I'm here now, everything's fine, but it was just one of these things where I thought, honestly, how many little things can go wrong in the course of one travel experience? But so here's the reason why you're not supposed to and never should put laptops, computers, iPhones, smartphones, anything with that kind of battery in your checked bags. Where those bags are in the plane is like in the belly, and it's sort of unsupervised in a way. And if something down there starts on fire, it can have catastrophic results. I mean, obviously. And because of the kind of fire and the way that those batteries burn when they get overheated or when they're damaged, the fire suppression system that works in this area of the plane might not be able to put it out in time. And then we all know you can't have, things like liquids, gels, and aerosols bigger than a certain size in your carry-on, so they all have to be in your checked bags. And let's say you got a big old bottle of Aquanet next to your burning computer in your checked bag. That obviously is not going to be cute. Big mistake on my part. I do feel kind of silly and stupid for doing this, and I'm not going to say not knowing about it because I knew about it, I just wasn't thinking about it in the moment. There were quickly quite a few comments reminding me about this, and that's why I pinned a comment mentioning that now I remember, or now I know. That comment has gotten like around 50 thumbs up, so I know that quite a few people have been going to the comments wanting to write more comments about it. And I just thought, okay, I'm just going to sit down, talk about it, explain it, and say, yeah, oops, not a good idea, and I definitely won't be doing that again. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I want to answer some of your questions, and then I have some questions for you as well. And the first question I want to answer is about this bag of Tostitos back there. Just Me in Iowa asked, I've been meaning to ask this for quite a while now. Why do you have a green bag of Tostitos on your shelving unit? It's been there forever, LOL. Well, let me show you. On a recent visit to my parents who live on the West Coast, I introduced them to this brand of chips. It's Tostitos with a hint of lime. Do you know these chips? If you don't know them yet, don't try them. It's going to be all you're going to want to snack on for the rest of your life. These chips are so tasty. They're like salty, they're a little bit sweet, they have a little bit of lime. They're so good, and you can't get anything like it in Germany. It's been hard for me. So because my parents got so into these chips and are also totally addicted to them now, my bonus mom Linda, who is very crafty, making quilts, wall hangings, all kinds of cool, crafty stuff, she took a bag of these. I don't know if you can look at it or see it closely. Do you see this? This is an actual bag of the chips that she's made into like a bag that you can put stuff in. So it's kind of quilted, I guess, in a way. I don't know what this style of craft is called, but this is an actual bag of chips made into a permanent, durable bag for stuff. And I love it so much that I don't want to put any stuff in it and take it with me. I just like to look at it. And that's why it's on the shelf. I wish that I could come up with some kind of magical spell to just like wave my hand over it and fill it up with these chips. Thank you, Linda. And thank you, Just Me in Iowa, for the question. Now you know. Next question is from Night Nurse 90. Night Nurse asks, when do you head back over for the Star? What they mean is I'm cruising on the Star of the Seas. Today is Tuesday. I fly to Florida on Friday of this week, and I board on this Saturday. Are you excited? I'm excited. The newest, biggest cruise ship in the world from Royal Caribbean. I'm only going to be on board for 4 days. It's going to be a very intense 4 days with me trying to get as much video footage as possible to show you as much as I can. Anything specific you're really interested in seeing, let me know. Okay, I'm having a problem finding the comment. Somebody had asked me on Sunday Sofa Time from last week, because in the video I talk about how I finally got somebody on the phone to rebook me on an itinerary after the flight got canceled that was going to get me home only like 20 minutes later than normal. That's where that whole part of it went wrong, because this person didn't book me on a flight from Minneapolis to Paris and then Paris to Hamburg. They just booked me on a flight from Minneapolis to Paris, and that was it. And I described in the video how when I was on the phone with the person, they said, okay, I'm sending you a confirmation now. I'm going to stay on the phone until you get the mail. Let me know when it arrives. So I opened my mailbox and I saw, okay, I got a mail from KLM. It says trip confirmation or something like that. And then I told the person on the phone, I got it. Somebody in the comments was saying, well, Morgan, they sent you a confirmation. Why didn't you tell them it was wrong? You had them on the phone, and I can understand what this commenter is saying, but I had... The whole ordeal had already taken up so much of my day. First of all, I'm talking literally hours of my last day with my family. And from the conversation I was having with this person, telling them I needed to fly to Hamburg via Paris on these 2 flights, I had no reason to believe that this person would only book me on one of those and not on both of those. So when he said, check your emails, did you get the confirmation? I checked my emails, saw there was a confirmation, and I said, yes, I got it. I didn't open it at that time. I didn't open it at that time because, like I said, I had no reason to believe that anything would be wrong with what I had just agreed on with this dude. And in fact, in the KLM app, the second flight was shown, which is also something that's so weird. I still don't understand that. But when I got to the Minneapolis airport, I was only booked to Paris. Don't know why. Okay, now I have a question for you. First of all, I already asked you if there's something specific you would like to see about the Star of the Seas. And I'm really surprised at how many people have watched that Sunday Sofa Time. For a story time video here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides, that's pretty good numbers. And so if I take that information and relate it to the Very Unofficial Travel Guides as a business, I kind of think I need to make more storytime videos on the channel because it seems like something that people enjoy watching. And my question for you is, if you have read Places Please, which is my most recent book, this is the one that is part travel guide and part stories of my life. What I want to know is, what story out of Places Please do you think would make a good sofa time where I just sit down and go through what I can remember about this situation and how it affected me at the time? Do you think getting pranked by David Letterman, my experience going to Uruguay with the circus, getting Montezuma's Revenge on tour with a musical? Let me know which of the stories in that book you think would make a great sofa time, and then I'll do it soon. And also, please, if you've read Places Please, can you please go leave a review of it on Amazon? That's so important. And Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship has like over 200 reviews now, and Places Please only has like 30. Getting more reviews helps more people find out about the book, and all that helps me keep the Very Unofficial Travel Guides going. So thanks for everybody for all the support. Thanks for your patience with me. Yeah, when I sometimes make stupid decisions and talk all about it on the internet. If I can, this weekend I'll be posting a video from the Star of the Seas, as well as another Sunday Sofa Time where I tell you all about what happens when your bag gets delayed or goes missing, what you have to do to try to get it back, and what you can do if it's really late or if you don't get it at all. So make sure you're subscribed and check back for that, and I look forward to seeing you back here soon. Bye-bye.